Staff Sergeant Mon Williams. We're going to be going over the structure types and how they're affected by fires today. So let's get into it. Give it a second. It'll come back. And there it is. All right. So today we're going to be reviewing the 5 structure types defined by the NFPA. Those fire types are the fire-resistant type, non-combustible, ordinary, heavy timber, and the wood frame type. We're going to be going over how fires affect them, so what they're made out of, and how to identify them when formulating an action plan. All right, first type, fire-resistant type 1. Said they're usually government buildings. They've been made like schools, office buildings, made out of concrete, poured concrete and steel, and just generally out of non-combustible materials. Like I said, this construction is styled around constructing buildings out of non-combustible materials or limited combustible materials like poured concrete and steel. These help maintain structural integrity. Fire, it takes a while, it takes a lot or something really hot basically to burn through this, oil fires, things of the nature, but typically these are going to be the least likely structure that you will be called to a scene on. Type 2 is non-combustible type. So right here we have the California City Fire Department. Well, the last place that we want to catch on fire would be the fire department. These are some of the, like I said, some of the most common types of non-combustible materials are type 1, but type 2 are built with prefabricated metal cladding, as you can see on the sides and the roof. Metal deck roofs and concrete floors. Even though the roofs are considered non-combustible material, they are typically coated with combustible roofing materials that will combust and ignite, causing a secondary fire. So insulation, shingles, they can cause one, but again, not very likely. So moving forward with some of these, you have to consider the construction types, legacy, modern, or traditional. Legacy is existing construction built in accordance with good utility practice. So these first 2 types are made with good practice because they're parts of the community, they're staples. Modern is a process that focuses on off-site construction techniques, so a lot of the things that are built before they even arrive to where they're going to end up staying forever, and traditionally uses parts to construct once on site, so everything is shipped to the area and it is built directly there. Alright, so we have type 3. This is it was a bar downtown in California City, but since it has been closed for the past 3 years, it's made out of brick and ironwork, and it being as old as it is, if it were to catch on fire, the ironwork would most likely bulge outside of the brick structure, and it would become compromised within moments. So you'd have to consider that when formulating your action plan. You'd want to limit entrance into the structure as much as possible. Said only if absolutely necessary, because it would put us in danger, because it's at risk of, well, failing structural integrity at any point. It's going to collapse in on itself. So this is one of the more dangerous ones to move forward with, because that's a lot of weight coming down. It's not just wood. We have heavy timber. This is Annie's house. Not a lot of heavy timber buildings in California City. This is actually in Botno, North Dakota. It's a ski lodge. It does fall under the classification of heavy timber, which is comprised of building structures and structured members over 8 inches of thickness. So a lot of lodges, cabins, things of that nature. These are surrounded with exteriors that will burn which will be fire resistant for 1 to 2 hours. So when people build large structures out of wood, they are worried about fire. That's at the forefront of their minds. So lately they've been coated with fire-resistant material in order to give any responding department as much time as possible to arrive to the location and save whatever can be saved. We're going to move on to our last type here, which is wood framed. This is a chapel just on the outside of California City. Well, it's right now currently trying to be defined as a chapel because the town has a strange rule about churches being torn down. So right now it has been left to ruin, determined by the Christian community. But this is a building made almost entirely out of wood. It has a stucco layer on the front, but these types of structures will be compromised within minutes. It is small. It's a giant kindling box. It's a tinder box. It would go up within moments, and it is structurally weak. So, in conclusion, going forward with any type of fire, knowing your enemy, it's gonna make you a powerful adversary. You want to know the structure type and the fire type of the fire that you are responding to. It's going to make it easier to formulate an action plan going forward. And having an effective action plan using the knowledge that you learned here today, reviewing it, will help you mitigate any fallout from disasters or incidents that you respond to. Thank you.